What is going on, YouTube? This is your boy Like One Half and Duo, and I have me a very special one-on-one. I ain't did one of these in a while, so I have a very special one-on-one with a person that I met in real life, cool person, and also I have a special guest, which will be Mrs. Feelgood. So first, let me introduce Dr. Feelgood. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing good, but let me just back up real quick. Did you refer to me as special? That means a lot to me, man. I'm tearing up over here.
Well, let me
Now,
put my
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. As always, the guy with the smooth moves and groovy tunes, always in a damn good gamey mood. And yeah, you can go ahead and introduce. Well, I can introduce Mrs. Feelgood, aka Bombshell Diva. Some of you guys know her as the person that refuses to let you get away with splatting her in Splatoon.
or
You know
some
who
or
you
some
are.
people or some people know her as when you start your podcast, you say something just as the podcast starts.
Oh yeah, well that's like OGL number 34. 34? Yeah.
Yeah, she always does that. She always does that.
Like
So
a check a photo bomb and says it's a podcast bomb.
I know, right? I know that. Well, Miss Bombshell Diva, what's going on? How you doing? Well,
Miss
now she,
Diva.
Uh-oh, I lost y'all. Can you hear me?
we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hey guys. This is Bombshell Diva. I am Dr. Feelgood's wife. Glad to be on here. Can't wait to, see what this conversation is about and give you guys some good laugh and insight on just who we are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, yes, it's gonna be that. I know for sure. Some of these questions you keep him in check, so I gotta worry about nothing now. But this is basically, like I said, this is a special one-on-one in a way because I mean, I've basically been doing one-on-ones with most people who've been on my podcast just to explain the channel. Also, we cross promote to people, even though most of our subscribers are part of his list and my list, whatever. But just to still share out and learn about what our gaming habits are and stuff what's going on in gaming. So this basically just questions I'll ask, and again, since I have the diva with me as well too, I'll ask them as well to her. But the main guest I have to say will be Dr. Feelgood. So Doc, basically the first question will be in what you remember as like serious gaming. When did you started playing games?
Um, 3 years old. NES. My dad had bought one. Um, the game I had on it for quite some time, of course, was Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. But yeah, that's the first gaming I did. Funny thing is, after that, I did go back and play a few like Atari's, 2600s, and things like that that my uncle had. But yeah, first gaming experience was literally the NES. Now, that doesn't
I
make me a fanboy, but yeah.
Whatever. Just I don't know why people got this acclamation with the words to say, oh, that doesn't bother me. Call me what you want. I don't care. What about you, Miss Diva? What about you when you first experienced gaming?
The first time that I experienced gaming, um, I want to say I was in about first grade. Around
Okay.
the time my uncle had an NES as well. And so my mom's baby brother was really into gaming. And so with my uncles, since I was like the very first grandchild, I was kind of by myself aside from my uncles.
Hmm.
I used to play with them. So as I got older, my uncle like actually got me my first system. And from there, it just kind of went on. And as time went on, I actually kind of got away from gaming and didn't really get back into it as heavy as I am now until Ken and I got together.
I got
So
you.
I kind of took a break from it, and was just really intrigued with how it had grew since the last time I had picked up a controller, and just kind of fell in love with it all over again.
All right. I can't argue with that. That's pretty good right there. Well,
Now, this one thing, if I may interject, though,
but
she did mention this the other day about we were out with family, and she was mentioning how she used to always play what was it, Bloody Roar on the PS1.
Yes.
And Crash Bandicoot with your dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for people in our well, look, most people's okay. Let's not put it this way. Back in the '90s, most family members basically passed on gaming to us. Now, gaming still passed on to kids to this day, but it's more of a social thing now than it was back then.
Right.
You know, like I didn't, unlike you guys, I didn't. Nobody really had it. Gave me the situation like you guys had a father, or mother, or a aunt, uncle, or aunt, or whatever. Like my mom used to leave the islands. Where I was from Nevis, so when she leave Nevis to go to America and come back, she brought me those Tiger Electronic games as just to say, hey, you did good in school. Here's this or whatever. So that's how it was in that regard. But then I went over to friend's house, see they play NES like you guys. Like I see NES, it's like, oh, okay. And just started playing it from there. But I didn't have the introduction like somebody was there to pass it down in that regard. My mom just did just to say, hey, this is because she wasn't into gaming. My father wasn't into gaming. My cousin wasn't into gaming. Like nobody above like in my family wasn't into gaming like that. So I didn't have that transition. But now, you know, like I said, now it's just more like your friends do it now, so you jump into it more than it was before. So that's the difference in that regard. So I'll ask this to Dr. Feelgood. Like I said, it is game. You know, everybody has their memories of gaming, but it kind of sets you up in your future of gaming at the time when you were young. What was the first console that you bought with your own money?
With
that
my
was that
own
with your own
money.
money, not nobody, not no gift, not nobody gave you half of the money. No, you like you because remember that's an important decision to think. Like, okay, I have my own cash. I have what can I buy, and that was a decision on you.
Actually, I believe it was the Dreamcast.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Dreamcast was
peculiar
the
one.
first, and I do think the GameCube was a quick second follow up, but I think it was a Dreamcast.
Okay,
And man, I love that console.
remember the
Still
game that
do.
came with it?
Mine didn't come with a game. It came with the little video demo thing. It had a few
Yeah,
demos
yeah,
on it, such as Sega
yeah,
Bass
yeah.
Fishing, things like that, and the web browsing CD. But I think the first game I got with my Dreamcast was it was either Crazy Taxi or Power Stone.
Oh wow,
Power Stone 2, I mean.
so you got that Dreamcast.
Well, Power Stone 2, I think it came out much later, but I think it was actually like
Yeah,
Crazy Taxi or something. But one
I
of those
was just
games.
gonna say Crazy Taxi was like within the first 2 years, but with Power Stone was a while back, and Power Stone 2 was even further back. So I was like, okay,
But
all right.
yeah, we got that
Well, I
sucker
mean, I would
launch,
think you
man,
had.
and I loved it.
I
No,
would
you know
think that.
what? I take that back. Is it Dynamite Cop?
Yeah, I think
Was it a
about.
launch title?
I think it was. I think I have that on
Then that
on
may
my
have been the
phone.
first game. It was that between that and the Crazy Taxi, but yeah,
It
one
was
of those two games.
Dynamite. Wait, hold on, hold on. Dynamite Cop or Virtual Cop?
No, there was a Dynamite Cop.
Okay. All right, I'm just thinking that like early, like I remember a Virtual Cop. It was early in the beginning, so that's why I said that. But okay, I got you. Well, that's cool. Oh, I guess you said that you went to game and you fall back from it, but what about you, Diva? Like, you think that you had one that you bought for your own money because you thought at when you was at a young age, like, you know what, I could do it, or you waited until this bastard hooked you?
So, like I said, I did fall back from gaming for a while. Like I said, I didn't get back into it heavy until Dr. Feelgood and I got together. And so, honestly, my very first console that I purchased with my own money was actually the Wii U. So, we had already had one, but that is the first console that we have two of. And so I loved it so much that we were just kind of getting in each other's way over time, having
Uh-huh.
to share one. And so I was just like, whatever, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get it. So around the holidays, around Christmas time, I was like, this is going to be my gift to myself. So I've actually been spoiled with having lots of consoles around me but
Uh-huh.
enjoying them without using my own money. But that was the first one that I actually purchased myself.
And all I got to say to that is, I ain't saying she's a gold digger.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Okay. Okay, I got you. That's cool. That's cool. Well, I was basically this one will be for you. Next one for you again, Doc. Um, what are your top three genres?
Ooh,
And then with that, yeah, top three genres, and then add what do you call it? And add the game or that genre that you love as well. Like that's what your favorite game for that.
honestly, don't hate me for this, but
How would I hate
I'm
you,
not.
dude?
No, no,
This
no,
is
no. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm not sure which place it is in terms of the top three, but one of my top three favorite genres is in fact shooters.
okay.
I love shooters.
All right.
Um, I'm an avid Call of Duty player. Battlefield as well. Half Life, Halo, things like that. Even a few more. And of course, y'all know me as Lord Dynamo and Splatoon. That's my favorite. Cross generations, period. Um, Other ones I like,
Sea Breeze.
whatever. Other ones I like, I can honestly say I like games. Okay, second probably be RPGs because I love a good story. I
Okay.
love a good story that makes sense. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. At least I used to be. Well, I won't go into that. But of course, Legend of Zelda, even a few more games I have. But yes, so shooters and RPGs. I would say the third would have to be. It's kind of hard to describe, but I would have to say arcade sports. So like your NBA Jams and Hang Times, your Mario Strikers, your NBA Street, FIFA Street, NFL Street, your SSX, and even going so far back as SNES and PS1, which you had Looney Tunes B-Ball, and then of course you had what was it, NHL Hits, and those WWF WrestleMania games that were on the PS1 that had like 8 characters, but you had like 50-foot, pile drivers and stuff. So arcade sports titles, I love. So
Okay.
I would have to say those are my three favorite because games like that I can play for hours, like literally dozens of hours by myself, even without friends. I can just keep playing.
Got you. And then so you got a game. Like I said, you got a game for each of those genre that you say, hey, this is
Well, for shooters, Splatoon. I've given
okay.
up on Call of Duty for the time being, and the rest of them. So for shooters, I do Splatoon. For arcade sports, right now I'm playing NBA Playgrounds, which is very fun to me. But I would say my overall favorite in arcade sports is probably going to be Mario Kart.
Okay.
And for RPGs, it's going to be close, man. I'm just gonna say it, even though Zelda isn't technically just an RPG. I'm gonna say Breath of the Wild. I was gonna say Xenosaga on the PS2,
Hmm.
but or Xenoblade Chronicles, but overall, it's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, anybody, like I said, the chat's open, of course. You guys can ask questions to these lovely two people if you have questions for it. Because I already see Yin Yang Yao, which is a female, so she already don't answer your question back, Doc. At least she ain't missed it with no broke. Yes. So she's on your side. She already know. But anyway, what about you, Diva? If you have any like falling behind that, I mean, I don't know if your scale is that big, but look, hearing that you already started saying that you have Bloody Raw and everything else, I could be wrong. Well, you got any three genres that you like, and a game in each of them that that tops out like, oh, you know what, this is why I like these. You know what I mean? Like what just Ken just said.
There's a couple. Few things that I like to play. I definitely do like fighting games. I absolutely love fighting games. Huge Mortal Kombat fan, huge Tekken fan. Actually enjoy good platform games and RPG games as well. Um,
Okay.
I loved, and matter of fact, even some adventure games. Lots of different things. I kind of bounce around, so I don't really have a favorite. I just try to dip into different things to see what I like. A lot of times, Ken will kind of introduce something to me, and just kind of based on how it looks, I'll just kind of determine whether I want to play it or not, and then kind of sit down with it and realize it's something that I'm into. So I'm still kind of learning all of the different genres that they have. So when it comes down to it, it's kind of like a rainbow effect. I kind of like a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Now, what she should have said is, not that what she said wasn't true. What she should have said is, yeah, he introduced me to, a lot of games, and my reaction initially is, yeah, it looks okay. And then, and then I come home from work one day, and she's thrown in 12 hours.
I'll
I
get.
would think
I will get to that. I'll get to that. Just give me a second. I want to get to some of these questions. Just want to get some of the questions out of with to establish you guys. That's all. Um, the next. Well, this will mostly be for Doc. I would think he will understand this. Is there a game that is how should can I ask Andrew this way? I want to make sure I phrase it the same way. Okay, you have your genre. You have your genre. Is there in the top genre that you like? Is there a hidden gem that you would recommend to somebody? A game that not many people know about and just came out like that. Like you're like, wow, you guys at least check this out.
hidden gem in one of my top genres.
Yeah.
Um, I would say when it comes to the action sports, I would most definitely recommend checking out Power Stone if you get a chance. Power Stone 2
Oh,
on
that
Dreamcast.
action sports. Okay, you learned the line, but okay.
I mean, like I say, like arcade action. Like it's kind of like a fighting game, but they kind of not. But if I had to really provide a sports game, which one I would truly recommend? I'm gonna go back old school because this game was really funny to me. I mentioned it earlier. Looney Tunes B-Ball for the Super Nintendo. If you can find it,
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you like NBA Jam in any way, this game takes NBA Jam to a whole different level, Looney Tunes style, and it's hilarious. It's very hilarious.
Got you. Got you.
Um, for the shooters, man, I mean, Splatoon was kind of a hidden gem until everyone started liking it. But
Liking it. That thing is a beast now, dude.
it's a beast. So I don't. A hidden gem shooter. You know what? I really can't think of one. Not a hidden gem shooter because I mean they're all pretty much out there. No, I can.
I
Red
can.
Faction Gorilla, Red Faction Gorilla on the Xbox 360 or
Oh,
PS3.
okay.
It's a third-person shooter made by THQ. It has, without a doubt, the best environmental destruction engine I've ever seen in any game to this day, and that was back on 7th gen. Battlefield never has compared and never will.
Okay. Well,
And
let me.
what else did I say? Was did I say RPGs and of course, well, Breath of the Wild side of Hidden Gem,
Yeah,
Xenoblade. I'm sorry, Xenosaga on PS2. That's my hidden gem.
got you. Let me finish this last simple question, and then we will get into. Hold on, let me see. Cause let's see. Oh nope, I got more questions. I forgot because I made a when I did this when I started did this one-on-one thing. I wrote a list down, so I was trying to go through the list. So the next one would be what, when did you start your channel and why did you start your channel?
Me, believe it or not, my inspiration came from. Of course, we all sign up for a YouTube account just so we can, favorite videos and keep track of certain people. But
Yeah.
my inspiration truly did come from the first time I saw an episode of Gamers at Large. Jay Fleming, Jamie Butterworth, Shadow Fox, Quan Manchu, back before the turmoil, back when they were first starting out. They were probably like maybe 20 podcasts in, I believe. I'm not exactly sure, but When I
Mhm.
saw that, all I saw was a bunch of freaking gamers talking about random gaming and even in life topics just in the podcast, whether people knew about it or not. And that right there, I was hooked. Even and I think like maybe a couple weeks later, I asked like, "Hey, do you mind if I actually attend one of these?" And they said, "Yeah." And I've been in it ever since. Now, of course, I've been more doing more with my channel over the last couple of years, but that's where I got my start. All credit, gamers at large.
Okay. Okay. Well, now basically this is going to be rapid fire. So now I'm going to deeper into this, of course. But all right, Doc, here, these are just choices. Now that's all it is. So choices now: single player or multiplayer.
You talking about like online multiplayer or just any
Not
multiplayer?
single, nope, single player or multiplayer games. When it comes to which one do you like, which is higher than the other?
My preference, honestly, is multiplayer, but
Okay,
single player is most important to me.
that's all I'm asking. Which one is more important? Don't
Single
try
player.
to.
Single player is
Okay,
more important.
okay. What about you, Diva?
I think single player for myself also.
Okay, now is what I was saying. It make no difference. So now, what about so online or local multiplayer?
Online.
Okay, what about you, Doc?
I prefer local.
Okay. Now this one, maybe you got to reach back a little bit in the brain, but for you, Doc, what was the toughest game that you ever beat?
Let's see if I beat it.
Well,
The
I
toughest
specifically
game.
said it was what you beat, so you have to beat it.
The toughest game I ever beat.
Yeah, I mean that's what you play, not what's a tough. Again, that's tough. You know, that's out there. You didn't know. You bought this. You played it and you beat it. Again, as you bought and you beat.
I can't think of one, man. To be honest, I really can't think of one at this time. There's been more than a few. There really has, but I can't think of one. Not at this moment. I'm sorry. If I had to throw one out there that I thought was kind of difficult, I would say RoboCop versus Terminator on the Genesis back in the day.
Okay, all right. You got anything you can add to that, Diva? You think of any game that was like difficult that you were like so happy that you beat this thing? You're like, okay, I beat it. Thank you.
Mm, if I have to think of the very first game that I ever beat, it would actually have to be Crash Bandicoot Insanity Beach. That was the very first one. Excuse me, the very first one. Kind of like when I started getting back into it. My dad actually purchased it, and I remember like staying up like all times of night trying to go through those levels just because it was, just kind of reintroducing myself to it. But that was the very first one that kind of, gave me a real challenge because I was having to learn everything all over again. I beat
Mhm.
several since then, but out of the ones that stand out in my mind, that was the one that gave me the most challenge because it was brand new. I was, brand new back in the game, so it kind of gave me a run for my money.
No, okay, that that's cool. That's what that's at least we established all that right there because there are, like I said, there are games out there. I talked about it with Andre, of course. I mean, I have covered myself too from the Ninja Gaiden 3 to the original Ghouls and Ghosts. I mean, Ghosts and God. No, Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts, whatever is on the Super Nintendo with the stupid ass with Arthur. Eugh.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know all about that.
Yeah, that was a pain to beat, and then I beat it, and I was like, whatever. Even up to Ikaruga, which I never beat. I beat that thing on normal, and I put that game down. Never touch that game again because you have done some mad skills to beat that game. So that's them bullet hell games. But so we have established that. So before we get into other stuff right here, let's go into now we're going into the general stuff we're going to talk because in this, since I have a deal with me, if I ask questions that I never asked the others, which some of the other guys before they have wives, they have wives and they have things that like Andre. I asked more because of his kids or whatever, and I could have tried to ask more with the Good Shepherd, but it was a little. It was you could as you remember that one-on-one. It was back and forth because he had to take care of family and whatever. So in this one right here, what in general, Dr. Field, I'll let you go first. What do you think about the gaming industry and society? Well, let's separate them. Gaming industry and society as a whole right now.
The gaming industry. I was. This is not to sound biased, people, but I think overall,
I'll help you out. I'll help you out.
it's on decline. Overall, it's on
Wait.
decline.
Hold up. I'm gonna help you out because you're gonna be on. I would love to invite you and your lovely wife on my radio show and stuff. You know when people say stuff like that, it just sounds. It don't help your case, right?
I know, but
You gotta.
I'm just trying to be reassuring
I'm just
because
saying it doesn't help y'all. It help people's case. Cause you always got that. You always got like interviews like. Now, I don't want to sound racist, but you know they're gonna be some racist stuff. I don't want to sound biased, but and you know from talking to me, everybody has a bias. There's no such thing as unbiased. There's a unicorn.
trust me, I get it. I thought I'd just be forthcoming, but
You can say forthcoming, but I'm just saying you're basically prejudicing your words by saying it before you said your statement. That's all I'm saying. But anyway,
Fine.
go ahead. The industry itself.
well,
Yes.
I may come off as biased when I say this, but
Yes, you are. Everybody
Okay.
is. Nobody ain't.
overall, it's on decline, and it has been since the middle of the 7th gen, in my opinion. I say that because people are the developers have gotten lazy. They're making broken, crappy, buggy,
Right.
and even overpriced games, incomplete even, and they're still being sold to us for full price. Now, as far as the community is complete and utter hot garbage. I say that because they become impatient. They want high profile AAA titles, the Hollywood blockbuster style games every single week. If not every week, is every month. And they don't care whether the games are broken or not, even though they're spending their hard earned money to get them. They only care about the attention they get from either buying or playing said games. They don't even really buy games they're interested because they're interested anymore. They buy them because they're popular. I literally know someone that doesn't like shooters, but he bought Battlefield 1 because it's a popular shooter or Call of Duty. So community is garbage. All the insults because they lose. People go out of their way to cheat on games, even online, just to get a leg up. It's not that serious. I love games. My wife loves games. There's been times she's been playing Splatoon and literally
Yep.
she's been
Yep.
cursing up a storm. I'm sitting here
Boy.
like
I
I
hear in
have
the
to
background.
do this.
I'll be hearing in the background. The
But
first
at
time
the
we ever played Splatoon, and we did a podcast like this, and we were playing Splatoon, and all of basically it was after a podcast, so it wasn't live. It was after podcast. It was me, you, Double A, Shep, SK Massive, and I think somebody else. I forgot what it was.
I think it's Mr. Red Fox too.
No, it was not on that one. It wasn't Red Fox. It was, I think it's Micah or somebody, like somebody was in there that was in there. And I remember when Dee was like, "Come on, Shep, get your ass on the game." I'm like, damn. I was like, holy crap. Because Shep wasn't on it because he was dealing with his son. And after he got his son, he said, "You guys stop talking." I'm like, and your wife was like, "Come on, Chef, stop and get your ass in the game. Come on." I was like, dang, like she was into it. So yeah, so I heard her in the background many of times.
But even with that said, and of course, she said some very, very questionable things while playing the game, some of which may not even be well received online. But she would never ever say that to a person, just hurt their feelings or insult them, just like I
Oh,
would.
no,
I've actually been in voice chat with people on Call of Duty, and even when they do something against me, I don't insult them, I don't curse them out, I don't call their mom a cunt, none of that. But today, that's all that happens.
It's so specific. gonna say
with that
any
out of
other
all
word.
of the words.
I know, right? Holy crap. Wow, dude.
Hey, I'm speaking. Look, I've been playing Call of Duty since
I know
Call of
that
Duty
I
3.
know that
So
happens, but I'll just say that was such a specific word, though.
it's a very very specific experience. But so with that said though, I mean it's gotten bad, and that's why now I actually enjoy playing games. Like One Two Switch or other games with my wife. And then I typically when I play online games, I prefer to play with friends, just like anyone else. But I take it so much so to the point where there are times I know I can hop online and play with millions of randoms. I may play one game and it's like it's not as fun because if I know if I do voice chat, someone's gonna curse me out just for playing a game. But if I wait until you, Shep, Sprite Remix, or anyone else get online, it's gonna be fun. Even though we may talk crap to each other, we know it's all in the name of fun. We're not really trying to hurt each other's feelings or insult someone else. So that's why I say it's hot garbage. Today's community is mostly of either man children or children that think they're men or adults.
Okay, okay. Well, what about? I mean, do you agree, or do you have to do you want to add anything else to what your husband said?
No, I agree with what he said. I
Okay.
don't necessarily have to add any more to it. Now, I mean, I guess I can say this though.
Yeah, go ahead.
He definitely had, really valid points when it comes down to the community. But I mean, of course, like anything, that's just a specific, you know, group of people. But it doesn't necessarily speak for the entire community. Not to me, because I've had great experiences with people online, and it's been awesome experiences too. So definitely don't want the bad parts to kind of outweigh the entire community. To be quite honest with you, I think the gaming community itself is a lot stronger than the nation's community logic. The way that, in the gaming community, people can rally to, game together, have fun together, just kind of breathe life into bad situations. I think that the gaming community really does that well. And the rest of society really can take a page from the book. I mean, with any situation, you're going to have some bad apples, but I mean, I definitely want to give the gaming community props as well, because for a lot of people, it definitely is that needed outlet outside of the real world and real life situations that are happening around them, that really just kind of keep them going. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
definitely want to touch bases on that part as well.
As shout outs to Kwame and Chu, as he said, most video games are $60 vacation from reality.
Right.
No, I no, look, I work in the industry, of course, and I see the inside and outside. Like you said, yes, the majority of let's put it this way. The majority of gamers are not gamers who are super interactive and doing a lot of stuff. And if they are, they're not. They don't. Their outlet is basically just the games. So that's majority of it. Just like how we always say Nintendo, everybody keeps on but you have a dedicated core one, and you have also okay. I always said because I don't believe in I really do not believe in the whole console war thing. Just a bunch of crap that people that part is reflected in society though, because everybody feel that their part is the best thing, and they want their tribe to do better than the other tribe.
Right.
And that's not even that's society, but that's also human nature that's in us.
Right.
So when we say that is when I say that is because I've said it in two videos before. They're Nintendo fans, and then Nintendo fanatics. There's Sony fans, there's Sony fanatics. There's Xbox fans, Xbox PC fanatics. Every one of these fanatics have, and I'm using the true definition of fanatics of a person who just have a irrational craze over something, is that we have how should I put this? Everybody goes with because everybody uses the nomenclature of fanboy, which if just for your purpose, Diva, like me, I don't use word unless I know the straight meaning of it, because I don't like getting mixed communication. So when people like your husband said like that, I said many times in my video, call me a fanboy. I won't say I'm a fan man, But I don't care. Oh, you like Nintendo? Yeah, that's my preference. That's what I like. Yeah, yeah. But I've played like I had somebody who's been who talked to me and said something and said like, oh, you just like Nintendo. I said yeah. So I'm a Nintendo fanboy that you're saying again. Not in the bottom. I'm like I said, you know what? I last year. What games did you play last year? What systems you play last year? He was like, well, I played by PC or by PlayStation. So you only played at Nintendo. I'm like, I played my 3DS. I played my Wii U. I played on the Xbox One. I played on the PlayStation 4. I played on the PC. And at the end of last year, I bought me a PlayStation Vita, and I mean, still playing out today. Like, I played on 6 different devices. I might have a preference, but I just love gaming in general. So we need to make sure that these worlds don't have a thing. But in the society that we live in right now, like we have, like I said, we have this rivalry of my tribe is better or doing anything right now, and it's becoming poisonous because we're having people doing. One of the reasons why I try my best not to say name, company, all that stuff, and totally agree. I made my channel just to talk to people like you, meet some of you guys, which I did, and whatever. I just do not want. I know it got drama that comes along with this crap, and to see what people do with the swatting and all the other stuff that comes with these things, like you know what, y'all want to be infamous, go right ahead. Hell, I don't even want to be famous. I've said it many times. He was like, man, you do all this music, I said, I don't care for fame. Give me the money. I don't care for fame. Y'all keep that because fame gets you in trouble sometimes. So the industry that we're in right, the community right now, you are right that there are people like my co-host for my radio show. She and her kids, they just play games. Like 2 of her kids, like her youngest daughter, she bought games that a lot of people didn't like. But that's because people always think that what they like is what the whole gaming community or what that community or what that side of the console, whatever it is, they should like. They picked up Mario Party, and they picked up what's the Amiibo game with the Animal
Amiibo
Crossing.
Festival.
Yeah, and she loves it. Her daughter loves it and plays it and got hundreds of hours in it. Now everybody might say, "Oh, it's a bad game," blah blah blah, but that's not your cup of tea. So you know what? If they made a game just for your set, the industry would have done that. You need contrast, you need variety, you need different games. You need a bigger net to catch more people. Because if you just have a set of people, it's not going to last that long. And again, industry doesn't grow without introducing new stuff to new people.
And I can agree with that because, for example, my wife has never played a Zelda game outside of Zelda's Battle Quest on Nintendo Land, which is on the Wii U. That was a pack-in title. Now, let me go on record by saying she's mastered most of the levels on that game. Something that's not easy to do with the archer. Just, puts a respect on her skills, okay? I'll move on from there. But that was her first and only Zelda game. Now, as a mainline Zelda game, Breath of the Wild is her first. She's never played one before. Ever. And knowing that she has 200 hours in this game, it, like you said, they made a game that, although some fans may not like the fact that they went this route instead of going the traditional route, this caught a lot of other people that otherwise probably had no interest in the game. It caught them with a wider net. You had those traditional Zelda tropes, but this Zelda played a whole lot different. I even had to tell her, I said, just in case you're wondering what the other Zelda games were like, they were nothing like this. So if you think you can climb up everything and have this, it's not there. So if you're expecting that, this is the first, this is your starting point. But this Zelda being so different than the past games, it caught her. And it caught many other fans that probably never played a Zelda game. I think it was Terrell that said that he's only played a couple of the Zelda games prior to Breath of the Wild. But it caught him as well. So you're right. You have to have different types of games to capture various types of gamers, different demographics, things like that, different types of players. It makes sense. I don't hate on anyone for that. I did not know she was going to take over the Switch when she got her hands on Zelda, but she did.
I got you. Well, like you said, like for my company, like when I'm doing music, like I have a certain type of music I keep. It's not mainstream, of course, but it's still something that a lot of people drift to. And I might catch a couple, and that might stretch a little bit more to bring in other people. But I still do. I still write songs and compose beats and other stuff for other people that still get them to come in and say, "Hey, this is this company. Oh, this is pretty good." And then you got to do that. You got to do that to keep your company going or your industry. Like I said, where the industry is going right now. Now, I agree, and we had to talk about this. Mr. Red Fox had about it. Like the industry is, the industry is not good. You said you brought up other points with the whole game developers of this, and then the publishers of most of the big problems too. That force the developers to do crazy stuff, blah blah blah. But the problem also is the gamers, because as the old saying said, if you don't sell, if crap sells crap. It's a broken game when people buy it.
Very
It's the
true.
only industry I know that if the car that you would not sell food that's like missing stuff, or you would not you would complain, or if you have a car and you're missing tires, you'd be like, wait, that came with the car. Technically speaking, I should have said it because there's a new trend in cars right now, and people are letting that happen. So it's a little bit, because I remember when I bought my car. And I bought my car, and I looked at it and said, "Oh, okay, well, everything." And then after the year after that, they start selling cars, and they told you, "Well, here's a fixer flat." What? You mean fixer flat? Where's the spare tire? Oh, that's extra. To the hell! You better give me my donut that I had all these years, and now you taking that away from me? Nope. Now my car came with that, but I've seen people go through that. I'm like, holy crap, y'all getting screwed. That's no way I'm doing that. So we have kind of pieces of that in other things, but a broken game is a broken game. Let's just be straight about that. But people still go out there and buy broken games. So, and like I said to Triple M, because Triple M was a part of the chat. I was like, the bad part about it is we got to keep the industry healthy. It might not. I mean, I'm a Nintendo person, but I do like all the other consoles. I still would buy them and have fun. You have all the consoles yourself, Doc. Like, games is games. We do need third parties, but I'm sorry, exclusive push the market more than third parties ever have. You need to have something that push the market. Have time. You're not going to worry about certain things. And I was saying, hey, you know what? People, if you tell people there's no fish in the pond, people ain't gonna go fishing. So we need to tell these guys, the gamers, hey, stop buying these broken games. They're broke. They're buying it, so that's why the industry's taking a dip as it is, which is sad. But what can I say? So with that said, I'm gonna get to some stuff right here. That's a little. Since it's the two of you now, so I'm gonna break out of this. So, Devo, you know, dating Dr. Feelgood, that game was basically. I would think you picked that up quickly. That game was part of his personality.
Right.
So how did you approach that? Because even though I'm not one of those guys who say, because again, I have the other half of Endor is Katie, and she, the other half of is Katie, and she loves video games, but of course she grew up on me in a way, so she she likes it, but still, like, there are a lot of there are female gamers, and they are growing in the excuse me, they're growing, in the marketplace now. There are more female gamers are going on. Males still are the dominant, but still, like, okay, I'll push this question this way. How, what like I say, it was part of his personality. How was it approaching him that that gaming is a part of his personality? Because there's a lot of females that think of gaming as a different thing, which is sadly a bad stereotype, but stereotypes do come from someplace, so I acknowledge it. But how do you feel when you was dating Dr. Feelgood, and you're like, okay, I know gaming is a part of his personality. How did you feel about it? Like,
So when I first found out that gaming was a huge part of his personality, I don't think I felt any type of way, to be honest. I think early on, it was just one of those things where, like, we had actually known each other for a very long time, so it wasn't the first time, that I found out that he was into games. But I just felt like, at the end of the day, if this is somebody that I'm trying to get to know, trying to spend my time with, I want to know and be a part of whatever it is that they're into, just like I would want them to do the same with me. So to me, it was just a no brainer. Like, if this is who you are, if this is what you do, let me find out more about that, because I want to do it with you, And so I think that's just a healthy acceptance of growing a good partnership with someone that you're in a relationship with, whether it's just, dating or you decide to take it further. I think it's an important practice to always make sure that you're open to be a part of the hobbies that your significant other has. And so for me, it was very easy, just based on that simple principle there, and just kind of seeing him kind of get into gaming and watching him play and the different strategies that he used. It kind of made me want to pick up the control again myself, because I realized how it was kind of taking me out of the moment. I think it gets easy to be swept up into the day-to-day living of working and, paying bills, and the only outlets that you have are when you go on vacation. But people rarely are able to find that same mentality of being on vacation in their home. And so playing games just kind of created that for us. And so I definitely saw that in him, and it made me kind of get excited about wanting to be a part of that. And so next thing you know, we were playing together, and he was introducing me to different games. And, I just kind of started playing on my own when he wasn't home. And then I would be super excited to tell him about it and tell him about my progress. And,
He was cheating on
he
me. That's
picked on me. He picks on me because, my skill level definitely isn't where his is. But, I definitely do my thing. But yeah, it didn't bother me at all. I wasn't afraid of it. I wasn't intimidated by it. I definitely didn't have any problem with him playing or feel like I needed more time, because it was a healthy balance. And he created that balance in the beginning, so I didn't have to worry about it.
No, but what she did is she also offset the balance by taking away my time for her own selfish greed.
Whatever.
It's okay. I'm just simply saying. No. What happened to Liger? Hope he didn't disappear on us.
Nah, I'm disappeared. I'm here, man. I'm here. I was gonna say shout out to to Game Idea and Shadow Fox, and if more people is joining the chat now. Like I see you Game Idea, but you were the first one, man. So come on. Anyway, okay, so this is what I'm actually mostly I'm going to the diva on this side for a while because I want to show the other side. So was that when you met him? You see, you know him for a while, but still, like before even that, were you on the uptick of getting back into games, or he further introduced you that you're like, okay, I'm getting back to interest in the game? Because you said you bounced out for a little bit, then you came back.
Right. He being in a relationship with him kind of pulled me back in. So I was not actually I wasn't gaming of any kind, aside from the occasional PC game. That was about it. So when him and I got together, and the more we would hang out, it kind of pulled me back in. Just kind of seeing him play and how excited he was. I mean, you can't sit and watch someone play a game and not get intrigued by it. That's definitely one of the strong powers of playing games of any kind. They definitely have their own way of pulling you in, and just kind of make you intrigued to, just kind of pick up the controller. And so I definitely will, tip my hat off to him for that, because if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't.
Okay, this is a very specific question, and basically, let's see if the two of you answered the right way. In a way, what was the first game you guys played together that made it like, oh, okay?
If I can recall correctly, the first game we played together was
Wasn't it like Nintendo
probably
Land?
Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land,
Yeah.
yes, off and on, but then seriously played together. Same focus and everything. That's
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The language became a problem. So
Yeah, I got you. I have a specific question about that too, because of something else. But I'll get to that in that regard. So that was the first game that you guys got you got into the serious part of it scene. Then now, Devo, me and Dr. Feelgood, what we do, okay, on Saturdays and Fridays and Saturdays, we do off air chat. We talk while I'm working in the studio. So we do that. And now the question is, you bought a Wii U, and of course, I think you enjoy your purchase, blah, 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 but the Switch is more personable. Why didn't you get a Switch for yourself? That was way more personable than what the Wii U is, because according to how Doc keeps on saying, like she don't want to play the game, then she loves the game, then she takes over the game.
Yeah.
I'll just ask
that is a true statement. That definitely is a true statement. So this is what happened with the Switch. So around the time that the Switch came out,
yeah.
We actually went, and I want to say we reserved two. And so we had I think actually they were both with the black controllers, because by the time I had walked into the GameStop, the person in front of me had just brought the last one with the two color switches. The two color controllers.
Joy-Cons, yeah.
So at that particular time, it actually came down to money. So when it was time to pick them up, we went to the 12 o'clock release. We stood outside of the Best Buy and everything, and we got that one. By the time we got that, the Switch from Best Buy that we reserved, he purchased the collector's edition of the Zelda. He got the amiibos to go with it. He got the analog controller. I mean, literally, it was upwards to almost $1,000. Literally dropped in 2 days.
Dang.
And so at that particular time, I was like, yeah, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to wait, because clearly you were super excited about this, and it was a lot of accessories. And so it's definitely one of those things where gaming is one of those expensive hobbies. And so I, kind of took a backseat on getting one for myself. Now, that does not mean that I won't get it. Just at that particular time, I didn't get it.
Okay.
I wanted him to get everything he wanted.
I am making sure that's not okay. You presented the story, because that's not the way he presents some of the story. I talked to him, so that's all I'm making sure. I'm not putting your business out there. I'm just wanting to know.
No. See, what I told you is also true. Is that we had, I bought the second Wii U a couple of years back, right? And primarily I bought that for Splatoon, because you can't play online co-op with someone against randoms or friends. So that's the main reason I got that, and it was a great deal. When it came to the Switch, the main thing was, and this is her statement verbatim, I don't want to get in the habit of buying two of each console, because that gaming is already expensive. And if you think about the Switch, it's not an expensive console, and you are right, it's a very personal console, kind of like a 3DS, because we have two 3DS.
I was going to say that. I agree. I understand because when we talk about it, Dave was like, I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. But the Switch is a personal console. Like, you can cater to work, he can cater to work. If he's at work, you can have it at home. Like, it's so more personable as a console than anything else, other than it's basically like buying your own handheld like a 3DS. So that's why that's why I keep on telling Doc, I'm like, man, go ahead and get it when you get a chance, man.
But I
understand the money thing. I do understand the money thing.
No, but here's something that helps. It's not that we could not get it, but I agree with her. I don't want to get in a bit, I don't want to make it a habit of buying two consoles, although this may be the only one of its kind. But even still, a more important point I like to make, we have learned to do almost virtually everything together. So even though we can have our own, we do things together. We share a meal. We share everything, because it's just much, not because we can't do it the other way, but because it's much more meaningful to do things together. Even now having a Wii U,
I respect that, and I
know, but for me, it was just, in my mind, she had a point. It's like, we still need to make sure that we know how to share things, and whether it be take turns or whatever. Since we're both into games, we both love Breath of the Wild. I would love, of course, for her to have her own, play what she wants. But at the exact same time, I feel like it would take away from me being able to sit down and watch it, because let's say we both want to play at the same time. Well, I'm not going to watch her play, and vice versa. But now with the one Switch, it's like when she wants to play, I literally do want to sit back and watch her play, and even sometimes record it, and vice versa. She would sit next to me and watch me play.
Got
That
you.
is something you can't really get when you have your own device and you're in two separate areas. Even if you're in the same room, you're not paying attention to one another. You're playing your device, she's playing hers, and
Okay,
it's a
now
disconnect
now
there.
you're going to the extreme. I never said that part. Now me and my sister have our two stuff, but if she plugs it up to the TV, I'm still watching it because I wanted to. So you don't have to have both switches, whatever. Because I did have a picture when Breath of the Wild first came out, and I was on the Wii U and she was on the Switch when we showed it off. But still, I still watch her play the game through the console when I wanted to and whatever. But the only reason I said it because like the game idea, as the guy says, what the hell gonna happen when you guys when it's basically Splatoon 2 comes out and it's the feel goods. You gotta watch out for the feel goods now. Until y'all be taking on Dynamo, whatever Lord Dynamo and whatever you use, Diva, and like mop the floor with most of the people from Gamers Lodge and everything else.
That actually may mark the return. We don't know that. Maybe when we pick up the second one, if you decide to, Splatoon 2 more than likely will be that game. But I can say there's a chance you may see that. You may actually see Lord Dynamo and Bombshell lighting it up.
Dropping some bombs on them haters. Ink
I, I'm,
bombs.
I'm just gonna let y'all splat her, and then I'm gonna watch the mayhem unfold.
Whatever. Well, I'll say begin my day guy says Lord Dynamo and Diva of Deliverance.
I like that.
There you go. So you got that right there. So okay. So I am gonna talk about this for a second. Just this is between me and Doc. Now, I am not gonna I am not that cocky to a point where I can't admit when somebody's better than me because that's just not in my personality at all. But I will say, because people ask, why do I call Dr. Phil Lord Seabreeze? Now, at that time, when we were playing Splatoon, he wasn't proficient. He was good. Don't get me wrong. He was good. But you see, he used to talk that smack talk a lot on Google Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So one time he was talking to me and Shepard, talking about that, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna tear you guys up like a hurricane." And I'm like, you know, we're island guys, right? Hurricanes doesn't bother us like how it bothers you Americans. It's like, so me and Shep crack jokes, say, "Yeah, you're gonna be just like a sea breeze, like whatever," and he just go back and forth. So the next day or that night, I can't remember what it was, but the next day that night, it was me and Dr. Feelgood. You know, we were playing and he's on the other team, whatever. Most of the time, we were never on the same team, so we were against each other all the way. So he was testing out Mr. Bucket, and I was basically kicking his butt when he had Mr. Bucket. He brought out Lord Dynamo, but I don't think because Doc has a way that if his team is a certain way, he don't play well. Me, I don't really depend on my team in a way, or how that thing like, oh, my team is garbage, whatever. I don't care. I'm playing the game for fun. So even when he had Lord Dynamo, I whooped him that night. And many times I saw him just come and chase after me. He's like, I'm gonna get like her. Like, forget everybody else. I'm going after you. And my sister can prove it because my sister's right here. He's like, this dude is chasing you down like crazy. I'm like,
I was not chasing you down
Yes,
intentionally.
you want me to call her? You want me to call her?
saw.
You want me to call her? I can call her sister. She will tell you the truth now. So that day, that's when I basically pushed back and say, whatever, Lord T. Reed. Now again, right now, if me and him play it, even I could say even with the Diva, and I barely play against her, I know when to kick my butt because I have not played Splatoon as much as before when he first came out. So that's where the Lord Seabreeze came from. Just to let everybody else know. So with that, in that regard, I'll just say another thing. Well, we talked about this with the whole, like you say, Dr. Phil get you back into gaming and you being, husband and wife, which is, a good thing that, like you said, like you have a hobby that you guys could enjoy with each other and have a little vacation from each, from reality. Because sometimes you need a break from, with a psych, it's like just a psych break, just relax your brain, cool it down, whatever. Um, but being that you are a female, like I said, there are more females in the gaming now. I'm not denying that, but there are stereotypes that you did not perceive. You played it for me in the past, so you didn't have that negative stereotype of that. Oh, he's a grown man. He's playing games. It's not nothing.
No,
Okay.
that wasn't the stereotype that I had. Like I said, I kind of grew up with it. I was the first grandchild, so it was nobody but me, and my uncles. And so with that they just kind of introduced it to me. And so to me, I just always saw it as just kind of a fun outlet. I never really saw any negative connotation with it. Now, I do know that everybody's situation is different. So, some people can take it to the extreme, and not really have a healthy balance. But I was kind of introduced to it in a way that everyone that I happened to encounter gaming with, they had that healthy balance. And it was strictly for fun. It was strictly for an outlet. So I didn't really have the negative look on it. To me, anything that you can find outside of the norm, it's always good to me. I think when you kind of go mainstream and you start trying to gravitate towards the things that society says is, the hot thing to do or what you should be doing, you kind of lose me. Because it's not so much because that particular activity yields so much benefits and is so, great for you. It's just a thing to do. It's trendy. And so anything outside of the norm, anything that people, have something negative to say about it, I'm all for it because those are usually the best things. It's usually the best things that aren't as popular as some of the mainstream things that are actually the best. And so it was just a kind of an intimate thing for me to be able to be home without having to, go outside of my home to find that release. So it's always been good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say a statement and see if you wanna. Then you could expunge upon it. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now the reason I said that because I have another person I know of, and I talked about it just a while ago with somebody else, and I've also tried to say this on a radio show. Now again, I would love to have you on the radio show to expand on this for other topics. But the thing that the reason I'm saying that with the stereotypes and all this stuff now. Gaming is as much as, even though we're inside where we are, Doc and Game Idea and everybody else, it's still a niche. Most games, if it sells 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, it's a pretty amazing thing. Meaning that the bar of being successful is very low. In many cases, if you keep the budget on the, if you're talking to me, it depends on the budget, because remember, there's over 360 million people in America.
Right.
So 1 million sell is less than a percent, really,
right,
of people taking enjoyment of what we're doing. So you're gonna have a lot of people on the outside looking in a lot. So with that the statement is, females on my radio show this. I said that if the guy is not, because it's mostly guys dominating this point, including mostly in the 30s area, because we basically, the generation between 25 and 40 basically grew up on NES, living in Atari, but mostly NES, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, like that kind of thing. And that was the boom at the time, where parents back then just bought a console some of the time just to say, okay, we'll give you that. Some of the time, just to shut us up. Let's not lie. they did that just to keep us quiet.
Very true.
We're not no better generation than anything. But I tell females, like, if the guy is not, like you just said, like if you go to the extreme, you gotta have a healthy balance. And I ain't gonna say too of a healthy balance, but if the guy is doing what he has to do as a guy, and you're dating him or going to perceive with being your husband or whatever, I think including if you're dating, because when you're dating, you're figuring out what this person is.
Right.
But I said that because I was telling ladies, like, technically speaking, when you're dating and you're trying to feel the person out and see what's going on, like, you mostly want a gamer. Now, if again, this cover the caveat that if he's taking care of his bills, taking care of his responsibilities, and everything. If he's just sitting home with parents and not doing nothing, unless you're like 20s or something, then you need to. I would say scope him and check him a little more on that more than anything. But if he's like it's like how me and Dr. Feelgood and Game might like we got our jobs, we take care of the mortgage, we do our bills, we do everything we gotta do, and you dating people like in that range, like if he's a gamer, ladies, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You know where he is. He's not at the club. He ain't down the street with something that you don't know. You know, he's
Right.
not, in no trouble. Like I would think that's a quality you should not look down on unless it takes over his life.
Right.
So what do you think about that? What I've tell that to my radio listeners before. So what do you think about that?
I think I definitely would have to agree with that statement. I don't, myself personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. And that's outside of me being, a gamer myself. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think everybody has their pastimes, their things, their muse, basically. And getting to know that person, I mean, I definitely would hope that when you do find yourself in relationships and things like that, that you do take the time to get to know who the person is. And if that's who they are, I mean, if you're going to be with that person, I think certain things that you just have to accept. And then you get to partner up with that person to decide how that dynamic is going to work for you all. But I definitely think it's something that people need to be more open to. I
Well,
think
I
it
mean,
becomes something that's very one-sided. Especially, I even know from example, from a standpoint of females that I know.
mhm.
To them, they don't understand the concept of gaming. To them, they can't understand how, a grown man can sit around and play games all day. They look at it as being childish. And so
Mhm.
they're very shocked when I actually state that I'm into gaming too. And
Oh,
so
okay.
it's just kind of that look, even as a woman, people look like, oh God, like you sit around and you play games. And so they have the stereotype, and they have this mindset of what a gamer should look like, what a gamer does, which is sits around and does nothing and eats junk all day, and that's really not an essential. That's not an essential gamer. Like that's not what we all look like. Granted, you have those, but that's not what we all look like. And so I think people. I'm not sure where that stereotype came from, but I think if people are a little more open minded, just to the concept, and just kind of give it a try. If not even give it a try yourself, just kind of be open to what your partner's into. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You just being open to what your partner's into. And if you are going to be a part of that person's life, you also have to be a part of their hobbies. And you close yourself out. Not that they're not trying to let you in, but you close yourself out when you don't even give yourself the opportunity to kind of get to know that side of the person. And so my thing is, like I said, I definitely agree with what you said. And I think a lot of the problems that happen in relationships is not because the person's not being open about their gaming. And a lot of times people actually try to get their partner into games and try to introduce them to things. But if you shut it down, I mean, it's only so many times people are going to offer that. And then you do create distance, but it's not distance because the person's playing the game. It's distance because you never wanted to walk through the door when they tried to invite you. So I think people need to be mindful of that as well. That when you reject it, you're also rejecting a part of that person that you're closing off.
Okay. And the
And if
reason,
I,
go ahead, Doc.
okay, if I can add to that, even on the flip side, I knew going into this relationship that she wasn't big on games. I didn't see, 4 or 5 consoles hooked up. I probably only saw one, which is a Wii. And you know how people feel about that.
Mhm.
But even though I was not required to do anything regarding gaming for her, I wasn't required to purchase anything specifically for her so she can feel a part of it. Often, I would literally go buy a game, and whether it be a well-known title or maybe a niche title, I will buy it with the mentality of, I think she'll like this. She doesn't even know it, but I think she'll like it. So I got a Wii U in Nintendo Land. She didn't understand it, but when she played it, it made all the sense in the world. And you can, we want to look at it as casual or not, but that's how it was. Same thing with 3D World. I wanted that game for myself, but I more so wanted it because I thought she would like it. And I saw that, hey, if we can play this together, I'm thinking she like it. But what happened is not that we played together. She took off and completely started playing that game on her own. Same thing with Pikmin. I said, you know what? I think she would enjoy this game. I'm not the biggest Pikmin fan, but I do like the franchise. I bought. She didn't seem interested in it. She got her hands on it. 12 hours later, she's still playing.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
even me, as a gamer, knowing that I don't have to cater any of my gaming to her, whether we're in a serious relationship or not, I said, let me see. I'm pretty sure she'll like this. Let me see if she'll like this. At least try. So even if you only like hardcore games or whatever kind of games you like, try to buy something you think the other person will like, based on what you know about them. At least try, and don't just try once. Try a few times. I can tell
Okay.
you, almost every game I recommended, her response was, "Yeah, it looks all right. It looks cool. I don't think I'm not really interested, or I don't think I'll enjoy it that much." And then it becomes an addiction, almost. As I said earlier, I bought Pikmin 3, dude. I'm telling you, I only played an hour. Told her to play. Literally went to work, came home that day. She had been playing the entire day. Even after I got home, she was still playing the game. I literally can show you the Wii U history where she put in about 13 hours in one day. One game, no breaks.
Well, okay. Well, and that's good that you touch on that point. The only reason I say that because like, and Diva, you brought up something that I talk about when we talk about like relationships and all together. Something that I talk about, kind of going through it myself in a way, but like, is that even with gaming? Like, you have, okay, when you get hey kids out there who listen to this later on, when you get to a certain point in age, most likely when you get like your career is kicking in, or you're in your 30s, or most of that time, you have to accept that person for is. Don't try. You can't really say you could change them. Everybody say you gotta have compromise and all stuff, but the first part of a serious relationship, you gotta accept what that person is. Now I say because, and I don't mean you gotta accept it for a crackhead or stuff like
Right.
that. I'm
Right.
just saying if that's their hobbies, like if you are doing it, your girl likes to go shopping, and just like the same thing what I said with the gaming. If it's in a normal means, you gotta accept that about her about that. If she wants to do that, and that's her outlet, let her accept it. If she don't like the gaming, but because there are females who like the gaming but didn't get the full intrigue of it, but they're cool with you being what you are. So that could work out too. Because I've said for my foreseeable future, I've said if I ever move out this house for a special person, I said that person. I told that person already. Uh, we're gonna need two separate rooms. Oh, we don't need no. We need a room for me, and we need a room for you. We're gonna still have the master bedroom and all that stuff, but no relationship is 100% guaranteed that we ain't gonna argue, and we're gonna need our space.
Right.
Just need our space. It's just better to separate, get to a nice, cool, calm spot. Me, I'm like right now. I'm in my bonus room. Is either games or writing music, creating music, composing music, and that person could be doing sewing or reading a book, or whatever, just whatever. Then we can get back to when we go to sleep at night. It could be very simple, no problems, and everything will be all right. But we do have to set up the whole that we got to accept people for what they are first. Because when you start forcing things on people, that's when you get a lot more friction than what you put in really in a relationship. And it's pretty cool to see that you and him come together. Y'all are a married couple, and y'all talking about games, and it's a part of y'all. Not even one of your conversation, but it's a part of y'all. Like you said, it's a part of the hobbies that you two enjoy. Not only that you enjoying time together, you also have another point of talking. Because I would have liked if you had joined us when you came to North Carolina, because basically it was me, Dr. Feelgood, and Sprite Remix that we chilled Christmas time. And
Oh yes, 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 yes.
yeah, and I would have been cool you could join in because you ain't gotta be all dudes. Like we were talking about all kind of stuff, having fun. So, but I'm just saying, like that's what I'm presenting you guys to a lot of people out there. And technically speaking, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I would take this podcast and put it on my radio show, so people could hear what you guys are saying. Because it's not only that you guys love gaming, or that you guys have this hobby. You're not only, like I said, you're not only sharing a hobby and an experience. You are sharing togetherness, a conversation piece, um, a bond that's a certain way between the two y'all, which is pretty cool. And I wish people could, even if a person is like a kayaker and whatever, like you have something that can still, like, no, how should I put this? Like advance the bond between y'all, other than just the simple stuff and sexual tension and just being together and paying the bills and living life together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's something that's pretty cool to talk about. I'll have to say this, so because of how Doc said certain stuff. So Breath of the Wild was the first Zelda game you really took it under the Nintendo Land. How was your first initial reaction to it? Because he said like it's a Zelda game, you didn't feel like you had about it, but then you basically went through the game and you beat it.
Yes, I did. When he first started playing, I saw him playing just from walking by in the living room or something, and I didn't really pay attention to it at first. Like I really didn't think that it was going to be something that I would get into. I've seen him play as Blade Chronicles, and that I mean I wasn't really into it. Thought he was just doing a whole bunch of running around, didn't really understand the concept until I saw him playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. And so when I actually kind of sat down and was looking at some of the things that he was doing, I think he actually put his control down to go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And I picked up the controller and I just kind of started roaming around underneath his profile just to kind of, see what it was about. And so from there, I kind of created my own game. And I guess what I really, really loved about it was the fact that I could play it however I wanted to. I didn't have to have a certain strategy. I didn't have to have any background. And for me, although I am a gamer and I do appreciate the gaming community and industry for what it is, I don't necessarily have all of the prior history. So it's not like I've been, a fanatic since, I was younger. So like I said, it's all still very new to me. And so I just love the fact that it was just the open concept and allow me to play at my own pace, to play how I wanted to play. And it's
Mhm.
so many different variations of how you can get to, the different points of beating things or, finding shrines. And it's just kind of, it's a free for all. And I think that was the thing that really got me the most about it. And it made me really excited when I could find out a way to approach a challenge that was completely different from his. And I think that's where the challenge came from because I'm extremely competitive and so is he. And so he definitely, puts it in my face of, how much of an expert that he is. So it's always one of those things where I get super pumped when I can get a leg up on him and, really just
All
kind of
right.
say like, hey,
I
I've
get
done
what you're
this
saying.
different.
I get what you're saying. Go ahead, girl.
Because he
Preach
is
on it.
something
Preach
else.
on
He
it.
definitely talks the trash. So
Oh,
it's
he
always
does.
good to kind of put it back in his face. But yeah, it was exciting. It was just really exciting for me. And when he told me that there wasn't a Zelda game that was like this one. I just kind of in my mind, I just kind of closed it off like, yeah, okay, it's not like this. I don't want to do it because I mean it was so great. And even now, like I haven't played it. I kind of stepped away from it just because I put so much time into it and I, beat the final boss and everything.
Uh,
But like I literally have days where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I miss it. I miss the different things that I saw and I was like, man, I want to go back and see this or it just still even after beating it, like it still pulls me in because it's like never ending all of the things that you can do. So it was just really exciting. I
all
really
right.
enjoyed the world for what it offered.
Oh, that is pretty awesome. And I gotta say, like I said, I gotta shout outs to Zelda Breath of the Wild for one thing, for one major thing. One of the coolest tools in Zelda has always been the hook shot. And for them to take the hook shot out and still make it, people don't feel jittery for taking that tool out. It's pretty awesome for them. Kudos for you guys for doing that. And another thing I would say, another game that he talked about that you got into was Paper Mario.
Oh yeah.
Don't, man, don't bring that up. And let me tell you why. I can even tell a story for her. Look, people, I haven't even played the game yet. I played the first hour, and of course, As I mentioned before, I knew she would like the game because it wasn't exactly like 3D World. So I knew she would like the game because it has a story to it. Eh, it looks okay. She was reluctant. She got it. I couldn't play the Wii U anymore for some reason. It was never available to me anymore. And literally, she would have stories every day when I got off work to tell me, like, yeah, I played this, had to do this, had to go find Toad's pants and his underpants and his cape. And great. Story's awesome. But, no spoilers. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but the ending kind of affected her a little bit. It's not because it was a bad ending. It's just one small aspect of the ending was not up to her preference, and it's understandable. It really is. But that goes to show you, it was a great story. It hooked you in, and when it was over, you didn't want it to be over, but you knew it was over. But another notch to the belt of games that started off as meh and end up as,
Well,
oh
okay,
my
well,
gosh.
okay. You told the story in a way, but she can really elaborate more. Like when you play the game, what really? I mean, you had a story, but did something other story hooked you in, or
So when I play, anytime that I play a game, I always try to look for a real life connection.
okay,
And so whether it's a character, whether it's a part of the story, I always try to find something that I can connect with. And so with Paper Mario, I know people look at it like, surface level, like, okay, this is just Mario and it's a paint can and they're on a mission. But I try to look at games more in more depth than that. Because I feel like when Nintendo, especially with Nintendo, a lot of the stories that they have, they're really strong meanings and purpose behind of a lot of stories that they portray through the games. And so I try to connect with those things emotionally. So with certain games that I play, they become more than just a game. So I kind of looked at it as like from beginning to end, like you have this partnership with this paint can. And as crazy as that sounds, I mean, you guys literally do every mission together. And so at a certain time, like just kind of through life, if you have a friend that you're doing something with nonstop, then all of a sudden something happens to your friend and you guys kind of split ways, you're going to be affected. And even though that's a game and I know that it's fictional, I still can connect with the emotional piece. Even when it came down to Zelda Breath of the Wild, just the different flashbacks or the different things that you have to find throughout the game, and just the stories of the people, of the different villages that you come across, and you get to talk to the people. It just kind of opens your mind up to other things that are around you. For example, like with Zelda, I told Ken, as crazy as it sounds, me playing that game, I think I've become more aware of my natural and physical surroundings in real life than ever before.
oh, okay,
Because that game is a completely open concept to where you're literally walking around and you're taking in the way that the wind blows on the grass, or you're looking at a flower or a part of the earth that you've never looked at before. It sends you on these missions to find certain things and to take pictures of the natural things that are around you. And like I joke about it, we could be driving in the car or we're out, taking a walk at the park, and I'll be like, oh, this looks like something from Breath of the Wild. And then he'll start laughing. He'll be like, I need you to quit. Like, I need you to stop comparing. But it's that real to me. I get so into it that I take whatever I've done in the game, whether it's a strategy or something, like I said, I try to tie it to my life. And so whether it makes me look at something different, it makes me do something different, I really have come to appreciate just the natural things around me. With the day of technology, like I'm constantly on my cell phone, I'm constantly on the computer, and you don't really take the time to look up, to look at the sun and see how it's,
mm-hmm,
shining more today than it did yesterday, or to
mm-hmm.
look at new flowers that were, planted in front of your office building. Like those are things that you miss, but they're free all day. And so for me, it really does give me an opportunity to just kind of not only assess the game, but assess in real life. And that's how I connected. I connected to real life.
Okay. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
everybody. No. That's good. Look. Everybody has something, a niche that kicks something. Okay, like majority of gaming uh, is basically out of enjoyment of fun. That's why I play games.
Right.
Most people play that, but it goes into the second concept of what you just said. Like I like Mario Paper Mario because it's not only that the story was good, it's what they told in the story, and that's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
they had the ice. We got some of the spoilers. I was right. One of the things I'm saying right now is early in the game, so it's not really like for like when I played when I was in the cave, and you pull off the tape, and you're like, what the heck is that shy guy doing to that toad? He was
Right.
basically stuck, but you're hearing the whole psycho, like what the heck? And then he turned around, turned his head backwards, and you're like, what kind of freaking game? Nintendo, what the hell are you doing? And he started going to you backwards, you're like, what the hell?
Right. Right.
Like the little nuances is in there that is funny. And then the other one was like like the ninja shy guy. Like the first time I fought him, I was like, oh, okay, this is one shy guy. I ain't got no problem. I can take him. I tried to jump on his head. Son of a gun, move out the way like the Matrix. I'm like, what? Oh
Right.
wow! I got this. I gotta stop playing around and pay attention to this daggone game. So the elements of what they did in that game is what also
Right.
hooked me into the game. I'm not like I played the game. I've gotten 5 years. I got 5 of the stars back, so I got some ways to go in that one. But that, like I said, there are aspects that pulls in, like Breath of the Wild, the same way too. Like Breath of the Wild, I played Breath of the Wild before majority of people, a part of the game as large as you guys did when I was in Japan. And again, with that, I experienced the ending. Not played it, saw the ending. I was like, okay, I know what it is. I ain't gonna worry about it. I like other people. I don't like to spoil stuff for people, and like major stuff in that way, like in joking and stuff. But so I had aspects in that game, and I still remember talking to people off the air when we talked about when I was in Japan. I said, dude, they got so much stuff in this game that you guys are gonna be crazy. The nighttime scenes gonna be ridiculous because they did some, like you said, the atmosphere in the game, it's quite livable.
Right.
And you so pay attention to your surroundings. Oh crap. What's that? Oh crap, it's gonna start to rain. Okay, take off all the metal. Make sure all that
Right.
crap is off for me. You don't
The
want
daily
to
thing for me is when we are out and about and we'll see something weird, we're like, well, that must be a Korok seed. You know,
yep.
stuff like that. And then at night, when we see like, you see those tall towers with the blinking red light, which is there for planes, let them know that there's like something there as far as
Mhm.
like altitude. We look at that like, up, hey, that's a tower. Like, we look at those things like we should go activate that tower. But it really is stuff like that every single time,
Yeah.
every day.
And it's truly an exploratory game. Like I okay, like one of the gripes a lot of like one of the gripes because it's right. One of the gripes a lot of people don't like about Breath of the Wild because they don't have the normal music that they always do, which is understandable. The thing about it is the music became a how should I say it? Hidden gems because if you want to hear the Legend of Zelda theme, you ride your horse for a while in the daytime, and you're gonna hear you're gonna do the whatever, and then you're gonna go, and then after a while you're gonna go dun, 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 dun. Like it's in the song is in there. Or if you go someplace and you listen to Kaz is the bird who plays the accordion. He also
Right.
in some places he does this the song of storms. Dun, 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 dun. Like the songs are there, they're just hidden in its own thing. But they wanted the reason they choose so little songs because just like the diva said, they wanted you to be aware of your surroundings. Because I
Right.
still remember one time I was and I it was a podcast I did. I did the podcast. And I cracked out laughing when I was looking at these bokoblins. I was looking at was it the bokoblins or No, it was a choose. I think it was choose because it was one hit. Like I was looking at the choose. I was looking at choose, gonna fight them, and out of nowhere, the basically the Octorok threw a rock and it missed me, but it hit the chew and killed it. I was like, oh, well, you did my job for me. I ain't gonna worry about nothing. And and the one thing about this game that is so addictive, other than the exploration and looking at
Right.
whatever, is there's so many ways to destroy these monsters. That's the part that's ingenious. You could take
And
Yes.
you ain't gotta tell me. I've seen her literally throw bombs for half an hour, taking out a Lionel or some other group of some other group
Hiding
of
behind that
capital
column.
monsters.
yep.
Yes.
Like it has that, or they. The thing about it is that I am happy to tend to make sure that these creatures had there was no friendly fire. So what happened to one? If a macabre swings something, and it could have hit me, it's gonna hit them too. So if they throw a shock arrow, if the enemy's beside me too, the shock arrow's there. It's gonna all of us gonna get hurt.
Right.
So that's not. Yeah, I'm happy that they did that. So I am, like I said, it is cool that you dig down and you have it. And I think again, I would think, Doc, are you what's your situation on the DLC? If you are you getting it?
Oh yes, I'm definitely gonna get it. I even told my wife that from what we've heard so far, it's going to be continuance of the story itself. Of course,
Uh-huh.
it won't come till much later. But my thing is, I'm going to get it not only because I want it, but because I know that although you can still go back and play the game because the way it's designed, it saves before you beat it, regardless.
Yeah.
Even still, to continue that story, I feel like the developers felt you can get mad as you want as far as this game having DLC, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone that likes this game wants this game to end. No one
Right.
wants the adventure to end. Now, even on a good ending, I don't want the game to end. That world is so vast, so fun, so much to do, so many ways to interact with it. There is something new in that game. And I could see them saying, you know what, although we made this great game and it's phenomenal and people love it, we don't want this game to end here. We don't want the content to stop here. And I'm glad
Hmm.
they're gonna make extra content for it. So that's $20 they've already got in their pockets. They're definitely gonna get it.
Okay, that's pretty cool to hear. That's pretty cool to hear. So anybody else in there, if you guys have questions, you can put it in. We could ask. I could ask the lovely couple before we part. Well, but like I said, it is. I agree with you on that because I'm playing the game the hardest way without the hard mode. I'm doing with the least amount of hearts, least amount of stamina meter. I'm basically because trust me, the first fight with the I went and got the with a fight and got Mephos, which is basically the elephant in Zora's domain. I defeated that Ganon Blight. And it was a little. I died once, and then I wasn't figuring what's going on. But again, I'm playing the game with three. At that time, I was playing the game with three hearts. I didn't. I got a bunch of spirit orbs, but I didn't increase the spirit hearts and all that stuff. So one hit would basically kill me. So I'm playing old school, like back in the
She plays the
days
game the
when,
same way. She plays
huh?
the game the same way. For most of the game, keep in mind this is around 200 hours. Most of the game, she probably only had about 5 to 6 hearts. It wasn't until that she kept seeing me when I would like defeat an enemy and get like weapons with 50s, 60s, and 70s. She's like, why am I not getting weapons that strong? I say, I think the game tracks your progress based on the amount of shrines you've done and things like that, enemies you defeat. And but even I think now, after she finished the game, she only has enough hearts. She got enough to obtain the Master Sword, but that
Okay.
was it. But before
Well,
that,
uh,
literally everything was one hit in her.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like for me too, because now I went to play and I beat it. Of course, I played the Uobasa, which is basically the camel. And she wasn't joking when she said, "Be careful, that thing is fast." I was like, "Son of a, oh crap!" I just died. All I had is four hearts, so yeah, one hit by that thing, I was dead. I was like, she
Right.
just said it, and it zip, 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 boom. It's like, well, I died. Whatever. Try it again, and I figured out. Of course, it took. I died about four. But here's the thing, though. Like in that regard, like even back when we first started the game, and you dropping off cliff and you get one hit, like I didn't feel bad that I died that easy. It's just like I gotta be careful. It's like it gave me a challenge. Like I really gotta be careful what I'm doing around, watching my surroundings. So I like that's what this game is, and like it's literally after beating that part, I all the time I go to Fair Woods, I used to float in the Fair Woods from the tower, so I never really walked in and horse riding. I just did it for the first time. I'm like, this is a lot more in this game. I didn't even see, so I know I've not walked every single thing on this thing. So even when I go to the Tobara Mountains, like I only been a specific path, so I know it's some exploring I could do there too. So yeah, it's in some games, this thing is gonna be something, and then the first DLC should be coming out October the 30th. So that's that one, and then December should be the other pack. We'll see how that works out in that regard. Anderson asks, "Are you gonna pick up the Crash Bandicoot series trilogy, Doc?"
Yes, and I'm going to say primarily because I know my wife and her
Well,
dad are big
yeah.
fans.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, you just said that. Yeah, makes sense. Excuse me. It does make sense. Yeah. So that y'all would get that.
And as I mentioned earlier, like to me, the best part, like if you're a guy and you're a gamer, I I know what you may be encountering when it comes to, you're in a serious relationship. Either they walk in front of the TV, they get on your nerves. Seriously, try to share it. Try to share it. Seriously, try to get them into it. It may not work, but try. The worst case scenario is they'll at least pick up a Facebook game. That's at the very least they'll do that. But try to don't just buy games strictly for yourself, and don't just try to play them by yourself. Try to incorporate her in it and watch what happens. You, I'm telling you, you'll have a lifelong partner that's willing to go to turf war with you.
I didn't want to go there with y'all. Like Game Idea says, Lord Dynamo and the Diva of Deliverance. So I know you guys are gonna do what you gotta do to do your giving the double problems to everybody out there. So, and again, I've heard the competitive side of you, Miss Diva. So I don't worry about that. I know you are.
Yes,
So,
very much so.
so I'm kind of looking forward to it in the future when Splatoon comes out, and I'm like, oh boy.
Oh no 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 no! I got a surprise for you with that. It may not be Splatoon so much as Arms.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
got a she missed the first test punch, but she got her hands on Twin Tail, and that's all she wrote. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
That's it.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Well, yeah. Again, I wish people could understand some things that it's like you basically personify what gaming is, Diva, in a way that you pick up something you enjoy, you like it. You don't need to add drama to it or anything other to it. You don't got to be the top of it. It's got to be the best game. You saw your husband play that game and you're like, oh, that's intriguing. You pick up a controller and you played it.
Right.
That's all it is, and it became entertaining to you. So I wish, and again, I wish it could be in that same regard of that's all it is. This game is fun. Again, it's a $60 vacation. Everybody's out there enjoying it, but it is cool to see that the two of y'all relationship revolves around something that the two of y'all came together. You accepted him for what it is. He of course, he accepted you for what you are. You put together because as a joke, as a parting joke for anybody out there, I'll finish off for that. But it is pretty cool, like I said, that there's not many. Like I'll give an example. Like if you go to Zelda Universe, Amanda Hines basically is the girl you see, the woman you see all the time talking about it. But the one who shoots the video is her husband. And they play Zelda together, and she is the Zelda freak, but they found something that they love together like that, and they talk about it.
Right.
So it is a common thread that is pretty cool. I wish a lot of people out there could do it, and that's why I wanted you to join in the talks this time, so you could have, talk about anything about this whole relationship you're having. Being that you guys are married and gaming is a part of y'all hobbies and something that y'all enjoy together. Let me see here. Another question will be for Doc. Like, uh, what virtual game? What uh, okay, what virtual console games have you been picking up for the Switch, Doc?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. Retro console games. I have not picked up. I think I picked up only one, and that was what's the name of it? Gosh, Metal Slug. Now I am
Okay.
going to pick up a lot more. It's just I've just been busy as of late, and she's been hogging it. You know, but I'm going to pick up a lot more. I'm going to definitely pick up all the most of the SNK ones. I'm going to do that. But the one I'm really really waiting on, so I can play with her, is that what's it called? The Hawaiian Shakedown.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
I'm waiting on that, and also the Pocket Fighter. Those are the two games I'm waiting on the most.
Okay. That is pretty cool to say because yeah, we have not heard anything about. But we know they went back to rework Pocket Fighter. But like I said, the Miami one, like you were saying, yeah, we didn't have not really said anything about that in a while.
Exactly. So I'm concerned, but I'm definitely wanting that game. I would say another game I'm gonna get is Shantae. I definitely do want to get that game for the Switch, and I know she probably enjoy it as well because she loves 2D platformers.
Yep, that is a pretty one to pick up for sure. So yep, okay, that's pretty good. Let me see. Yeah, and what's a long time no see? Insane Gamer, Taliotti over in London, up in Europe. He was like, finally, I got my wife into gaming. Now I can get her in. I can't get her off of Mario Kart. Is that bad? Whenever we have an argument that Mario Kart is how she wants to settle it. Hey, hey, that's good, dude.
That is awesome.
Exactly. That is awesome,
Great.
man.
Hey, all I gotta say, man, is put a shoot that red shell straight at her ass. Just settle it that way.
That's the best way. That's the best way to sell it. Other people like sell it in Smash. Nah, Mario Kart or Splatoon, sell it like again. Yeah, have it that way, and you'll be all cool with it. That's pretty cool right there. And I wouldn't be surprised if you two have done that before.
I have Mario Kart, but
Not Mario Kart, but in gaming, like sell a little, maybe a little tip or something in gaming.
Right.
yeah.
There've been a few times that we've done that. Just from him talking trash mostly. Just from him talking smack, it's like, like, okay, let's do this. And there are some times that he definitely does come out, winning. But I was like, man, let's just settle this. Let's do it. Put your control where your mouth is. Let's just do it. Sometimes it gets like that. It gets that real.
I could hear it. I could hear the competitive in your voice. You like, and I do know Doc talks that smack. So you're right.
Yes, he does.
Talk that smack sometimes.
Smack. I talked to
Okay,
Smack.
I gotta ask this then. I have to ask this. So if when you beat him, what does he say that? Because I don't want to. I hope you don't become some excuses like the usual. Man, my controller, my team is crap. What he say?
Now, there have been times that he'll do, the team was crap, but a lot of times, believe it or not, he'll try to throw shots at me and say, "Oh, that was cheap. I'll let you win." But he'll tell me
Oh, come
in the
on,
end
Doc.
that he really will tell me in the end that I did a great job and that he's proud of me. And I know he's just messing around, but he'll
I got
definitely
you.
give me my
Yeah,
props.
I got you.
I'll give him that. He'll give me my props.
He'll still talk that S game. Like,
See what I mean?
he'll still talk that S game though. Like I said, I give you your props too, Doc. Like I said, after the Lord Seabreeze thing, yeah, like I said, I beat you that time, but after that, I know I'll get my butt handed from you for sure because you guys played so much now. So I leave that alone to y'all. But that is pretty cool right there. Also, I remember you guys say what about snippets? Or it was a snippet?
Paper clips. Oh
Snippet clips.
yes. It's been a minute since we played, but we were literally playing that game like when we went out to eat. We were playing it. We would go to the movies and we would play it like in a lobby before the movie starts. And once they let us into the movie, we play like until the preview started, whatever. So snipper clips is that life. It really is. It's very addictive. It will reveal some things about your spouse's with how she feels about you and your should I say your delay on knowing how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
It'll open you up a little bit because you do something a certain way and you turn and look at her and she had this look of disgust like it took you that long to figure that out and it's like look we have to communicate, right? I can't just guess what you want to do, but it's a fun game. It is a very very fun game and it really does teach you how your significant other thinks because you in your own mind you're thinking to yourself, okay, we know we have to do to solve this puzzle. So I'm going to go ahead and do my part. You may be thinking what you think. You may be thinking this is a way to solve it, but they may have a totally different idea in mind. So if you don't talk, you're going to end up having these disgusted looks at each other. And then when it takes you 10 minutes, you're like, we could have done this 2 minutes ago, but you didn't tell me anything, or you did something stupid. You didn't have to do that. You just had to do this. It's like, oh my gosh, like let's just start over. Let's start the puzzle over. But
Okay, what about you? That's the same way you feel, Diva?
For the most part, like when we started playing, I actually downloaded the game the very first night that we got the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had actually, I was able to kind of run through some levels and kind of play it. So when he wanted to get on it with me, it was like, okay, well, it should be fine. But I think also like we've gotten so used to, like we both said in the beginning, we enjoy single player. And so it's really different. Having two consoles and playing against him in Splatoon is very different than being on the same game at the same time, playing with him, not against him. And so it was pretty challenging at first because I was like, literally, like, man, as much as you play, like, I cannot believe you haven't, figured this out. And so I was just kind of like, all this junk that you talk, and you're really struggling with this. And so it definitely was different. But over time, just with more communication, I think to be honest, it's one of those at-home counseling sessions. If you can't afford therapy, this game will definitely make you talk sitting on the couch. You're going to have to, like, you really have to, communicate with, trying to figure these puzzles out because they get really intense. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, it's extremely fun. To be able to solve something like that, it's one thing to solve it by yourself and give yourself kudos, but to do it together and know that, man, like we really had to talk, we really had to struggle through this. Like it's good, because you got your partner right there. But yeah, he's definitely telling the truth with the looks that I've given throughout the times that we played that game. But it's fun.
where is Liger at?
I'm here, man. I'm saying it's pretty cool that you are. It's pretty cool that you guys say that because I remember when you talked about like I don't want to finish this game so quick because I was one of the launch games, and you're like, okay, but the way that you've talked and now hearing from her side too, like that's pretty good. That I mean, but I see that thing. That's something that's valuable that you have the couch co-op that you guys are so together that good or bad, like you get something out of it. Like you said, that's a therapy because you have to talk. You got to have communication to get that going. So that's pretty.
And if I can add just one thing to that, as a warning to all the potential couples out there, current and potential ones, do not, I repeat, if you don't want to get abused in some kind of way by a significant other, do not put in 1-2 switch and play the plate spin game. Don't do it. Because that game, you're supposed to mess each other up, and it can get a bit physical. I'll just say that in a funny way, because you're trying to make them drop their plate, and you have to distract them. don't be surprised if you catch an elbow to the chest playing your little games. I'm just I'm just warning you right now. It's fun in that way, but that's another game we play together. We play with family, fun, and it's not just for just when family's around, but it really is a fun game. Like I tell people, do not crap on that game. It's very very fun.
Well, again, I'm one of the persons that said, look, I got one to switch for a reason, not really for. And it is a fun game. It is a fun game because I played the game and I enjoyed it. I played it with. It was one time me and my sister went over to my girlfriend's house. We went over there. We put up the console, and her sister's like, "What's this?" I says, "Nintendo Switch." She's like, "Oh, what is it all about?" And we played one to switch for about 2 hours because it was just so addictive. Me, my sister, my girlfriend, and her sister. So yeah, we got together, we played, and we had fun. And the reason, to be honest, like I said, the reason I got it because I wanted to know what the hell was that HD Rumble. I wanted to see what it is because there are not many games that really takes advantage of that.
Yes, and the
And
ball count.
I don't know what insane magic they use to do the ball count. I do not know how to because I've seen the destruction, not the destruction. What do you call it? The
The
breakdown.
breakdown.
The breakdown of the Joy controller, the Joy-Con. It's not like a ball, a puff of air, or something in there. It's a flat motherboard still, but so it's like, how the hell they got the sensation of a ball moving around in that thing? I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to do it. And when you tilt it left or right, you do feel you feel it moving around in your hand, and you still feel like if that's the way you basically secret. That's how you tell what's in the box. You gotta move it left to right, and sometimes you gotta put all the way so you can hear how much you can tell the knocks. But it's that HD Rumble is unreal. I hope again. I understand people's like, well, Nintendo gotta do this. Like I said, I still going with what Mr. Iwata said. We're giving you all the tools and the canvas. It's up to you to make a masterpiece. So I hope people really do take pride in taking advantage of the game. You're not gonna force it. There's a difference between forcing it and whatever, but just And no, we're not. And of course, it looked like one of our Sprite must be not in. So Derek must be thinking of a Sprite spot. Whatever, dude. I already talked to
No,
Sprite about.
Derek. No, we're not going into that.
I know, right? Your HD Rumble would never ever. It's pretty cool to sense. It's a pretty cool sensation, but there's some things that they ain't gonna do, and that would not make that what you thinking. I told Sprite that, and Sprite had to learn the hard way. That ain't happening. So, but yeah, other than that, like I said, I bought it for that, and it's pretty cool how that came together in that profile.
I would have to agree.
Okay, wait. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I'm reading this right. We're going to. I don't. Well, here's a question. Why did you choose this freaking mannequin in a black shirt for your profile?
Okay,
I think that's a question, really, but I think I might be messing it right.
I'll let her tell it. Honey, you know about this mannequin, don't you?
Okay, so we were actually we were at the store. We were at, I want to say it was at the mall. Was that J.C. Penney's, Macy's, somewhere? And we were doing our wedding registry. And so it was not too late at night, maybe about an hour and a half before they closed. But we were looking at dishes. And we were walking by, and there's like really nobody there, inside of Macy's on, like a Wednesday or Thursday night. So we're walking around, and we're just, just kind of joking around and clowning like we do with each other. And I saw a mannequin. And so I was just kind of moving the arms, just kind of playing with it, like, robotic style. And I realized that the fingers moved individually. And they actually had a hinge that allowed them to act as like a joint, like in the finger.
Yeah.
And so I was playing around with him, and I actually positioned the hand and the finger like that towards him. So, of course, he's cracking up. He ends up taking a picture of it, and he was like, I'm going to post this. I'm going to post it online. And so from there, he posted online, and it's just become his profile picture from us just clowning around, acting silly.
Okay, there you go. That's for anybody wanting to know that. That's your answer right there. Now, I'll say one more thing. There's no any more questions. I'll say one more thing. Like I said, there's two things I wanted to. Did I forget it? I hope I didn't forget it. But another one that came up in my mind to ask the question was, now I am happy you got yourself a Blue Yeti 1 and 2. You get a better microphone because your first couple of videos, I swear, you trying to rip me through the daggone speakers when you talking so low and try so sensual. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this dude?
Hey, look, I have to make you feel good, man. You have to feel
I
it.
don't want to feel that good. No. Because you were like, hey guys, this is Dr. Feelgood with Smell the Blues. And I was like, speak up. Speak up. What are you trying to do? Rape me via speaker? What the? Speak.
I'm trying to draw you in to my presence.
Whatever.
This guy.
I know we already know that how he is from the day that Mitoba came out and he did his profile with Mitoba. Me, I was like, only he would ever think of walking around with a Mario hat on with a daggone drawers on. I was like, what is wrong with this dude?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he is known for the very iconic characters that he has. What's that other game that you were playing where you were walking around in some Daisy Dukes, like literally a grown man? Um,
Oh, she's talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360.
oh my
Oh,
gosh. The guy that he
I
created in
literally,
that was
I
a
gave,
hot mess.
I gave on the online mode. I gave my dude a college cut. I had him in his, I had him in his church socks, dress shoes, and and just his underwear. That's it. And she's like, put some clothes on it, man. I say, well, he does have clothes on. He's not butt naked, but she couldn't handle the fact that this guy is literally walking around committing crime in nothing but his skivvies and church shoes.
well, I only gotta give it to Andre because Andre, when he did his little slides and stuff, he takes me's with. I still remember when he got my me, even though I never had Mitomo and stuff. And when he used to take your stuff and put it in the most, because the first time I saw it was when it's like he's there. I don't know if you did it or Andre did it, but I think it was you. No, I know for sure it's you now. Ain't no Andre. When I saw your Mitomo character, and he's like lying on the side like the Playboy. Like, oh my god. Yep. I'm like, you're eccentric.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I said, holy crap. Now, with that said, basically one more question just came in. They asked, Xbox or PlayStation 4, Doc?
If you're a gamer and you can afford it, both.
All right. You're a gamer and you can't afford it.
If you're a gamer, you can afford it, both. If you only afford one, I would say get yourself a Switch, man. Or if you don't already have one, please get a Wii U. Please. Do yourself a favor.
I mean, our line for the Wii is going to stay active maybe by the end of this year because the Breath of the Wild thing is, they have to do that for sure. And here's the thing, though, the virtual shop, they're still releasing games for the virtual shop on the Wii U.
Exactly. So,
don't
gamer, you can't go wrong. It depends on what's most important to you. If you like exclusives, you know where to go. You like third party, you got plenty of options. If you don't care where the games are, just as long as you can get them, get both.
Basically, Derek asks, y'all surprised that the 3 is still going until 2008? I'm personally not. No. If you listen to our podcast, remember back last year, I was saying the Switch is not going to stop the 3DS. There's so much games that are going to still be coming. And they announced a couple more games again in last week. Like, they're not going to do it. I was telling people, don't count it out just because because it's portable. Not everybody who gets a portable is going to go for a Switch. The price is just easier for including now that you got the 2DS coming out, the 2DS XL. Not everybody's going to have the money to go buy a Switch or if you can find that. Come on. So, not surprising. Hell, I'm not surprised about Pokemon Pocket Tournament DX because if you remember on the 3D on the third party podcast that me and Anderson and everybody else joining later on, we said that game was going to come, so that didn't surprise me at all. Me and Anderson called it out before.
Pikachu Libre for the win.
Yeah, as Jada say, Stone Cold, I think as long as I can Pika stun somebody, then it's all good. But yeah, but that's what it is right there. Now, I have to say thank you guys for joining me for tonight.
No problem,
I
man. It's a pleasure.
it was fun and fun. Like I said, expand on your gaming taste. All like I see, all y'all can check. You could check out Dr. Feelgood. Y'all, most of y'all will know the channel. Maybe later tomorrow I'll put the channel. I'll put a link to the channel in the description box. You can check him out. Check out his videos because what he does is he has his own style. Being that his persona is Dr. Feelgood. He has his video prescription. He has the OGL, which is basically his podcast, which is basically a mutation of gamers at large. But coming in there, you have a podcast, you got all kind of gamers talking about topics of the day and how it's going on. And then you had another one, the series you had. What you had a video subscription. You have your OGL.
I used to do the philosophy.
Okay.
I used to do that, and I want to get back into that. But also, my wife and I considered this for a while. We haven't got it started yet, but we're still wanting to do it. But in the near future, we're going to have a joint channel where it's just like this podcast here. It's just about us, what we experience, gaming, our lives, things like that. Just kind of like an outlet, you know, just for fun.
Okay, that is pretty cool. So the last thing I'm gonna say right here, which is it is a joke, but it was funny. Now, Dr. Feelgood and even his wife is I am lucky, like I said, I made the Endure channel to literally to like talk, just like he said, just to expand upon our thoughts, share the knowledge that I have been inside the industry, and also meet some cool people. And I've been blessed to meet a couple few people in real life and found that they're cool people. And these two right here have people that I've really enjoyed. So the first time I met them, like I said, I met them in real life. I met Doc first, of course, and he cracked his joke and being a smart ass and whatever he is. Wife, the first question I asked, I didn't say which I said I apologize. I was rude, but we was at a church, and I asked. The first thing was that lady like, "Hey, how you doing?" Oh, so you're his wife? I didn't even say that. The first thing I said was, "How you put up with him?" First question I asked her, and she just said, "With a lot of prayer with a lot of God." Now I forgot what it was. Now I forgot what you just said. I think it was a lot of praise. It was a lot of prayer with a lot of prayer. So it just these guys are just. I'm happy that you guys are happy with each other and that you balance out your chemistry that y'all are married. But there are not many, like I said, there are married couple gamers out there. But I wish people could sit and enjoy what it is to have a union of having a cool hobby like this and still enjoy each other.
Right.
It might come to fist. It might come to some of the jokes, like you said, like you might S talk and you might get a little heated in certain games, whatever. But it's all in competition, and then you know what? It also helps everything in the relationship. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Diva, for joining this conversation and dropping out your little wisdom from not only from your perspective as you're a gamer, but you still have an outside for because you're not into the YouTube community like Dr. Feelgood is. And
Right.
also that you show that the whole relation aspects of it. So thank you for passing on that knowledge to us.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
And no problem. And like I said, you're welcome back anytime when you need to do certain stuff. And of course, Dr. Feelgood, he's gonna have his podcast, his OGLs and everything. You can check it out on his channel, check out his video prescription and everything. And with that said, you know what it is. It's your boy Liger, one half and duo. And this has been a nice one-on-one. And you guys have a good night. And you know what I always say, there's no perfect game out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to them. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy your game on all consoles, even PC. You all have a good night. Peace out.
And watch out for bombshell diva bitches. Oh.